Hello everyone, welcome back to another video in this Cubase series. And in this episode I'm going to be showing you how to use the mixer, and I'm going to show you how to do like a basic mix of your song. So let's get to the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and click that like button as well because it helps my channel to grow. Right, so let's get to it. In the previous videos we've added 4 instruments and we created a little 4-bar piece of music. I'm going to play you the song just so you can remember it from last time. There we go, quite a catchy song. So let's open up the mixer. I'm going to click on this open lower zone button, and if you have the editor tab open there, it's just going to show that, but you can click on Mix Console down here and that will show you the mixer. Right, so I'm going to create a loop for this section of music. So I just want to loop this over and over. So what we're going to do, see this little arrow at the top? This little tiny thing here, I'm going to drag that across. And then that will now play to the end and then loop straight back to there and keep continuously looping. So what is a mixer? This is going to look really daunting if you've never seen one before. Right, basically all you need to know is, let's just take this one for example. So this section here, it's just basically mute, solo, listen and edit channel settings. So if I click on that, it's going to open up a channel for that section. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on. This is a fader, so this controls how loud the instrument is. So each one of these channels is a different instrument, and this last one on the right is the stereo out. The one on the far left is the stereo in, so that's basically my microphone that I'm speaking to you through now. So every track that you do will have a stereo in and a stereo out, and then all of your instruments in between. And these are basically exactly the same. Every single channel is exactly the same. They have the mute, solo, listen, edit channel, and a fader. It also has read and write for automation. I'm not going to speak about that in another video. If you want to learn a bit more about automation, it's a bit more advanced, but if you want to learn about that, then check out my video on automation. Anyway, back to the faders. This fader controls the stereo out. And the stereo out is basically the overall mix of everything together. So this is just piano. So if I brought this down, we'd have no piano. If I brought it right up, we'd have a load of piano and it'd sound really loud. That's the same with guitar and violin and drums. And as you can see here, the numbers, this is 0 and that's 6, and then these are actually minus. So this is -5, -10, -15, and so on, and that's +6. Basically, you want to just start off with everything at 0. And that is 0 dB. dB stands for decibels. And that's basically a loudness meter. The first thing I can see here is that we've got 2 violin channels. The kt.st.2, if you remember from an earlier video, when we selected the output from here, you can see it was named kt.st.2. That's basically our violin channel, but I want to rename that. So I'm going to double click this and I'm going to name it violin. The reason why we have 2 is because this is a MIDI track. If you remember, the other ones are instrument tracks, and I actually used a MIDI track for the violin. So I can actually just hide that. I'm just going to hide the violin track. If I click on this in the top corner, I can then click on this, which is the filter for the channel types, and I'm just going to disable MIDI. I don't want to see any MIDI channels in the mixer. I just want the input channels, the instrument channels, and any audio channels that we might use. Also the output channel as well. So that's the common thing. You can do that with every project if you want. Just disable the MIDI on the mixer. That will help you see things a lot more clearly. Right, so let's start mixing something. So what I'm going to do is make sure that everything is turned down. And that's always a good starting place. Have everything turned right down. And I'm just going to raise the volume of something until it gets to a nice volume. So the drums, I'm going to raise up. I'm going to press play. And I'm going to raise the volume of the drums. I don't want this to go over 0. But I also want to keep a little bit of headroom. So I don't want to go fully to 0. I'm going to keep that's about 5 decibels headroom. And headroom is important for mixing at a later stage. When you're adding effects and things, you start getting slight distortions and like the sound wave starts being manipulated. So even if you was below 0 in your mix, certain effects can make it sound like it's over 0, and it starts giving you a little bit of problems. So a bit of headroom is always good. I recommend about 5 or 6 decibels headroom, so -5 or -6 on this scale here. Right, so now we've got the drums. I'm going to go for another instrument. Let's go with, I don't know, piano. And basically all I'm doing is I'm using my ears just to hear what it sounds like. If it's too loud, I'm going to turn it down. If it's too quiet, I'm going to turn it up. And I'm just trying to get a nice level between the drums and the piano. That'll do nicely for that one. And then let's do the same with guitar. That'll do. I think the guitar's probably going to be the main instrument in this, and then the violin is just going to be in the background somewhat. So let's try that. Just going to bring that piano down slightly so the guitar comes through a little bit more. And that is basically mixing. It's basically just making sure that you have a nice level between the different instruments in your mix. So, yeah, you can actually spend a lot of time mixing things, like just tweaking certain volumes and faders and stuff, and also effects. I'm going to talk about effects in the next video, I think it is. And yeah, we're going to start using effects to increase volumes and decrease volumes. Also, make things sound bigger and as fat as possible. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. If this has helped in any way, click like and subscribe for more of my videos. And yep, I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be all about using effects. Let me know if you have any questions and stuff in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.